Hello, and welcome back to the world's cringiest YouTube channel to have ever existed. After a month of inactivity following the build of the Scarlet Devil Mansion in Minecraft, I have decided to go back to basics. How basics? Well, going back to first fucking video and making a paper airplane is the cringiest commentary you can imagine. So, my entire setup here just bounces around randomly. I've gotten myself plain, normal 8.5 by 11-inch piece of printer paper, to which we will turn into a piece of useless paper through the use of paper folding, origami, ruining your life, whatever we should call it. So, as per usual, we need to start with a crease down the middle, because without one of those, your thing will not be binary. Now, this isn't always an issue. You can have non-binary planes, but they tend to be difficult and don't tend to work too hard, and they tend to die really quickly. This got a little bit more than I anticipated. Anyway, our next step, we want to fold our corners into the middle. As we put them into the middle, increase them, we make a basic plain shape. Now, when I was a kid and I came up with this old idea, I would have called this the glider base, and what we did on the other one with it, the other orientation, the dart base, but I don't even know if that's a thing. Just most planes, you go through these steps. So our next step is we want to take our top tippy bit and point it down to the bottom. You want to make sure it lines up to the crease, and you get this funky ass looking shape here. And this, if memory serves, is itself a pretty functional glider, and I'll get around to showcasing one of these someday. I have a thing in the works where I will be showcasing a lot of useless planes. So if you wanted to, you could just fold along the valley, fold here, and make a cut right around there, make wings, and you've got an okay flower. But for what we're doing here, we're going to repeat ourselves. We're going to take this corner, slide it in. And that gives us, we're starting to get to the point where it's getting difficult to make these folds, but it's still possible. Fold these in to get this, and you get to see all the terrible mistakes you've made throughout this process line up into a misaligned corner right here, which is actually not as bad as usual right now. This little bit right there, that's where the misalignment always ends up being. And it'll be an amazing misalignment if you manage to not get it. So from there we do our next fold, which is an epic folding of the wing inward, and at this point you might find that it's getting very difficult to crease. In fact, it is. We folded this quite a bit, and we're doing a pretty thick tip right now. Now, this is, at this point, almost a rock, but we need to make it into a paper airplane. So what we'll do is, from the same side we had on top before, fold the wing over along the crease for this nightmare of a fold. Now, you're not gonna get perfect wing sizes, just a bit too complex for that. At this point, the tip feels like a fucking needle. Ugh, it's gonna crush anything. So you fold down the wings as you crush your little tip under a weight. I am putting a decent amount of force onto this just to make sure it goes. You can see that this is a very, very thick, and like, that's not gonna break. You're left with this tiny little thing. But just for comparison, here is the full sheet of paper compared to our final product. It is a tiny, tight little thing. And with this, you can get some pretty decent distance on it. This is my new test strip, which you will be seeing a lot more of in the future, methinks. Anyway, we've got hit our 5-minute mark. You've seen this thing be made, you've seen it fly. And I think I'm gonna make a little series out of this. Toodles.